А это как... А это как оказалось среди рыбы. Что это? А, сапоги. Сапоги в рыбе были. Плюс 1 к восприятию. Но у меня плюс 2 к авторитету есть. А, точнее, да, у меня же эти сапоги. Броня. Лодка легко качается на волнах. Не привязана. Доски скрипят под твоим весом. Лестница ведет к косяку рыб, снующих в водорослях.
Hi, officer. Anything I can help you with?
Это зависит от... что-то у меня язык не поворачивается сегодня. Ну, не только сегодня. Это зависит от обстоятельств. А где мы находимся?
A fishing village on the seashore. This place doesn't really have a name. It's sometimes called Elysium.
Почему?
The sign on the street leading here is illegible. Has been since they built this place.
У меня есть вопросы. Первый, как твое имя?
The name is Lillian. People call me Netpicker. I think I have time for questions. And that was actually the second one.
Indeed, you're always confused as to your whereabouts. Ask her about the cool sword. Helps to break the ice.
Отличный меч. А есть у него история?
Unfortunately, the factory sold this one with a 3-year warranty instead of a story. It's to intimidate folks mostly.
Выглядит довольно грозно.
It's a regular mass-produced sword, like a shovel or an axe. Nothing fancy, just for intimidation.
Зачем тебе пугать людей?
From time to time, people need a lesson in respect. That's just the way it is. Back in the day, I caught the eyes of many men. And believe me, men need a lesson in manners from time to time.
Если это так эффективно, почему больше женщин не вооружается?
What makes you think we haven't? The truth is that almost everyone in this life is scared and tired and stupid and too dull for that. That goes for men too. But they put on an act for us. Pretend like everything's good and living in shit doesn't bother them. Like anyone falls for that.
Зри. Нравится?
Sure. It looks as if you could face down any horror in the world with that same unchanging grin. It's like a shield.
The traces of her laughter are still there, in her eyes, fading fast.
Так а куда делись все эти мужчины?
Some went to patch their wounds, their lesson learned. Others were more thick-headed. And one of them, I ended up marrying.
Погоди, ну почему, если они твердолобые?
Guess I enjoyed the way he bled.
If it is, then why the melancholy?
А где сейчас твой муж?
Gone.
Он исчез? Похоже, это дело о пропавшем.
It absolutely does not. We are not going to look for him.
No. There's nothing to find. He's dead. Lost to the waves.
О,
He didn't respect the sea. Went out there, drunk like a skunk, and sure enough, one day the boat was found floating empty. The bloated corpse turned up 2 weeks later. Now, before you tell me how sorry you are for my loss, know that it was 4 years ago, and I've moved on. There's only so much mourning you can do for a drunk with sinewy muscles.
She really liked those muscles, though. It's in the way she pronounces sinewy.
Время лучшее лекарство, правда?
Us working folk don't have the luxury to be bedsick with melancholy. I buried him, mourned for an appropriate amount of time, and went on. Life didn't really change that much for me and the kids.
This is neither a touchy nor a very interesting topic for her. She looks like she's ready to go on a date with another, better, drunk. Ask her. Both of you could need some action.
Ей нужно пойти на свидание с еще одним алкашом. О, это, кстати, твоя лодка?
Sure is. The sun, I call her, coated with a fresh layer of tar just yesterday. It'll take some time for it to dry, assuming the sunny days continue.
Солнечная погода?
Aye. Sunny days. You got a problem with that?
No, ma'am. We have no quarrel with sunny days.
Good. It would have been bad news had it turned out it wasn't a sunny day. Bad news for the skiff, bad news for the nets, bad news for the kids.
There's a moment's silence. She looks at the slushy snow melt on the yellow belly of the boat.
Когда, думаешь, лодка будет готова?
In time, when the sea turns and the winds settle, she will be ready.
My prediction, it will be at least 2 days.
Так. Я кое-кого ищу, может, ты сможешь помочь?
Let's see. Who are you looking for?
Я ищу пропавших криптозоологов.
I don't think I know what these are. Care to elaborate?
Это искатели животных, которых нелегко найти.
Aha, like snowmen.
Снежные люди? Никогда таких не слышал.
Two old guys have been wandering around here, nose in sand, talking nonsense about snowmen and the like.
Все такое?
Right. Not only snowmen, also green men, monkey men burning rhinos. You get the picture.
Oh, you're getting it. And it is gorgeous.
И куда они отправились?
I don't really know. Further down the peninsula, I guess. I mean, that's where they were heading. Who else are you looking for besides snowmen?
Я больше никого не ищу.
Well, how can I assist you then, officer?
Ладно, пока, наверное, все. Увидимся. Пока не будем про подпись ее спрашивать, потому что это может испортить отношение ко мне. Надежно заперто. А вскрыть нельзя? Отсюда невозможно заглянуть внутрь здания. То есть отсюда ничего невозможно сделать, да, получается? Туда. Там ничего нет. Точила порядком истертая и покрытая ржавчиной. Белые занавески плотно задернуты, не дают заглянуть внутрь. Строительные материалы. Кто-то явно бросил строительство в спешке. Внутри раздается уютное потрескивание какого-то нагревателя. Текст на указателе невозможно прочитать из-за нанесенных поверх граффити. Детали рассмотреть сложно, но цвета теплые и приятные, очень уютные. Катка для цветов, в которой ничего не растет. Может, весной? Здесь тепло и уютно, не то что снаружи. Чучело какого-то, чего-то там. Брикеты промышленного угля горят, сияя оранжевым.
Hello, mister.
She clutches a small stuffed animal. Occasionally, she twirls it around.
Кстати, мне нужна девочка-то. Что это у тебя в руках?
It's Lammy. He's my friend. Sort of. Like...
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and the fur is tattered in several parts.
Кажется, барашка не слишком хорошо себя чувствует.
Yes. Lammy has lived a long life. Lammy was a
Революционером?
Yes! Lammy was a revolutionary.
А что это?
It's a grouse.
You might be able to get on Gart's good side if you replace the broken scooter you almost certainly broke.
О, понятно, но зачем он?
I don't know.
Могу я его забрать? Я знаю одного человека, которому очень нравится чучело птиц.
Sure. I mean, you already took it. I don't like it anyway. It looks angry.
Ты дочка Лильен?
Yes, I am. Little Lily. You know my mom?
Да, мы уже встречались.
That's nice. My mom is great. She's never angry or anything.
Я слышал, где-то здесь живет девочка, у которой есть перчатки от брони. Это ты?
Oh, I had gloves. Very big ones. Heavy, too.
Where did you get these gloves?
Found them when Lemmy and I were playing hide and seek. In an empty house. Where no one lives. I think someone hid them there.
She doesn't want you to think she stole them.
И где эти перчатки сейчас?
I hid them. The twins were gonna take them. They're stupid.
We are going to need those gloves. It's for important police business.
Oh. They're in my sandcastle. Behind our house. Under the sand. You can break the castle. It's not very good.
До свидания.
Bye!
Fairweather T500. Remember that weakness you were looking for in the ceramic armor? Like, maybe it can only stop small, fast projectiles, but a large, slow-moving pry bar would shatter it? Or, if I run an electrical current through it, maybe it will melt. Or, personal favorite, frequency something something radio weapon? None of that would work. You need to shoot the part of the enemy that doesn't have Fairweather T500 on it, because the armor itself is invulnerable. Good news is, so are the armor pieces on you.
Круто. Тут будет экшон, что ли, судя по всему.
A drop in temperature, an easy flow of air, an empty street. Before you, a thoroughfare unjammed with lorries. No more drivers smoking on hitch steps. Just silence.
Чем пах дым?
Chemically sweetened. Across the road, a forgotten bus stop. Corrosion has opened a hole in its roof. An elm tree watches over the building. Its branches are dripping with rain and snow. The road is smooth and motley, craters filled with a black asphalt. The asphalt, first laid, is grey already. A row of tenements are under construction in the distance.
Что за люди живут через дорогу?
A tub warm with water, white with soap. A man bathes while radio waves transmit the lottery numbers. 4, 18, 21, 4, 1. A modern washing machine rattles a drawer full of silverware.
Что это за автобусная остановка?
Number 312D. Young girls used to come here, huddled up, hoping for more warmth than their thin coats give them. The bus took them to school. It has not run for 8 years. There were not enough girls to sustain its cost.
А что насчет дороги?
Craters pocked the surface. Children played in them until heavy trucks full of black pitch rolled in. The landowners have filled the craters with money. It is a vital artery of the flow of trade. There's one bump on the road. A dead dog lies flat about 200 paces away, right at the turn.
Дохлый пес?
Tragedy comes from the wheels of a fast RCM vehicle, hurrying to work. The cold washes over
Не
you.
говорите, что я
The
еще
sound
собаку
of the
сбил.
sea has grown distant.
Достаточно.
The wind moves the aerosol. A detective stands behind the boom barrier. A breeze moves a curl of his hair.
Так, и туда нельзя. Тут стена, короче. А, ну тут не стена, тут шлагбаум. Кусты слишком густые и колючие, не пробраться. Погоди, там что-то было внутри, а я не заметил этого. Или это тот самый тайник с этим? С тем самым. А, нет. Как тут пройти-то? Блин, тут такие узкие дорожки. Из ржавой воды на тебя взирает собственное отражение. Почему она такая ржавая? Поеденные ржавчиной буквы «Мазут». Тростник украшает заднее колесо мотокареты. Вода течет с запада, значит источник там. Трубу прорвало или что? Где этот вообще, я не понял, песочница? Песочница с перчатками моими где? Маленькая черная ласточка кружит над тобой. Слышно, как она щебечет.
Weather has not been kind to Lily's little sandcastle. The once mighty towers are quickly eroding away. You can see something shining back to you from what must have been a vast underground catacomb network.
Все сломано.
The little castle? The reigning lord must have come upon some really tough times to let it sleep in such decrepitude.
Опустить руку в катакомбы и достать блестящий предмет.
The walls and floors give way to the giant's greed, collapse and present you with a pair of ceramic gauntlets.
Congratulations. That's the gauntlets down then. We're doing good on the armor collection front.
Плюс 2 техника. Ну как туда пройти-то? Лодки в сарае нет. Этот участок побережья пустует уже не 1 десяток лет. Темные очки. Плюс 1 эквилибристика. Минус 1 визуальный анализ. Наспех сколоченный сарай для лодок. Будь морской бриз чуть сильнее, его бы сдуло. В тени стоит беседка. В тени стоит беседка, покрытая ржавчиной. С ее крыши облетает древняя краска. Надпись «Entrée interdite». Старая будка билетера не работает. Люди еще платили деньги, чтобы остановиться здесь. Теперь уж точно никто не стал бы... Что? Блин, у меня не очень плохо видно, очень мелкий текст. У меня просто еще глаза уставшие. Сегодня почему-то.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Ким, погляди, еще дырки от пуль. Тут определенно что-то произошло.
Correct. The density of the bullet holes is unusual. even in a general average bullet hole frequency in Martinez sense. Grim affairs. Meaning, this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days.
Почему?
The manufacturing and sale of automatic rifles was curtailed after the revolution. The destructive power of such tools proved to be too much. We do need to retain some humanity in this world.
Почему их так много?
Unable to piece together the big picture just now. There's a hole in their hypothesis.
Ну ладно.
The scattering of bullet holes looks like one giant smiling mouth, smiling its deadly smile.
А дверь забита досками. К тому же ее засыпало так, что до нее теперь не добраться. Лыжная шапка от фауны. +2 логика. -1 восприятие. В воде колышется буй. Указан номер 11. Это тяжелые блоки военных заграждений. Исчерчены отверстиями. Блять, я не успеваю. Просто не успеваю читать. Потому что у меня глаза уставшие. Размокшие поленья пахнут жидкостью для розжига, однако все равно отказываются гореть. Крошечные клетки аккуратно собраны. Развести костер у самого океана практически невозможно. Может, это, кстати, они, это вот эти типы же. Нет? Похоже на каких-то ученых. Да.
Nice and easy. No way out, little guys. Not out of this jam.
There's a cylinder on the ground in which the man is arranging some netting. It looks like some kind of trap. He notices you.
Who's there? Oh, the police. Hello, officers.
Is that the police? Why are the police here?
Don't worry, Gary. I'll handle it.
Какие-то вы... Как-то Гарри странно это... реагирует. Вы, видимо, Морел, криптозоолог.
To what do I owe the pleasure?
Меня прислала Лена. Она очень о вас волнуется и ждет вашего возвращения.
Of course. Thank you for passing along the message. That damn water lock is broken, and we can't go all the way around the AL-81.
Шлюз починили. Когда я по нему переходил, там все было в порядке.
Oh, good. We should really be getting back. Gary could use a hot shower and a warm bed.
Did he say we can go back now?
Yes, Gary. We can go soon. If you see Lena, tell her I won't be long.
Sir, your wife is waiting for you.
I just have to do one more round. See if the phasmid has taken the bait. Then we're going.
Расскажите про фазмида, которого вы ищете.
Well, first of all, it's damn difficult to find, which is why we've been knee-deep in the reeds laying traps for it.
А почему его так сложно отыскать?
Good question. Being a phasmid of the order Phantasmodea, a ghost insect, it disguises itself as plant matter. In this case, the reeds. Awful lot of reeds around, aren't there? And I suspect it may have also developed other specialised techniques to protect itself from predators, or scientists, in our present case.
Какими специальными техниками пользуется фазмид, чтобы лучше прятаться?
It's my hypothesis that it has evolved certain electrochemical defences that allow it to interfere with animal perception, impeding pattern recognition, confusing the visual cortex. But I cannot describe how these defences work, much less how they evolved, without studying a live specimen.
Насколько велик этот фазмид?
I'm expecting it to be quite giant. One known species of phasmid, called the Megaphasmodea zoensis, is about the size of a grown man's forearm. So,
А чем вас так заинтересовал этот палочник? Разве нет животных посенсационней?
Typical rookie assumption. Insects are much more sophisticated creatures than those unversed in zoology give them credit for. Even simply catching a glimpse of the Insulindian phasmid would be the apex of my, of any, cryptozoology's career. But to study it and its defences, find out how it stayed hidden so long.
Would be glory itself.
И что вам уже удалось о нем выяснить?
Very little, I'm sorry to say. No one's ever captured a specimen, so all our information is based on first and third-hand accounts.
То есть никто никогда их не находил?
Not yet. That's what makes it a cryptid.
Just out of curiosity, if there's no proof of its existence, how do you know it's real?
I know it's real. By which I mean, I've heard enough first-hand accounts to believe quite firmly that the Insulindian phasmid is more than mere superstition.
Лена сказала, что его видели здесь, в Мартинезе.
Yes, the most recent sighting was by a couple of teenagers along the coast here. That's what brought us to Martinez specifically. It's the first credible sighting in several decades. Admittedly, it's an unusual location for this species, but with all the sewage runoff upstream, it probably doesn't matter much anymore.
Может, страволийский фазмид вымер?
I have to resist the thought. Such an extraordinary creature is doubtlessly highly resilient. After all, it's generally thought to be capable of parthenogenesis.
Партеногенез.
Yes. The females don't need males to reproduce. Makes it easier for a species to survive in adverse conditions.
Самки размножаются без самцов? Фарс. Преступление против страсти и здравого смысла.
Nature does not concern herself with ethical propositions. As a scientist, my interest is strictly dispassionate.
Расскажите побольше про эти ловушки.
Well, they may not look impressive, but Lena designed them quite cleverly, so I'm sure they'll do the trick.
Ловушки придумала Лена?
Yes.
Как работают ваши ловушки?
Simple. Attracted by the locusts, the phasmid crawls down the funnel and, having eaten its fill, can't get back out. At least, that's the intention. The net isn't a perfect solution, but we didn't want to use anything that might damage the specimen's delicate exoskeleton.
Что вы используете в качестве наживки?
Locusts. Nearly all known phasmids are herbivores, of course. But we've hypothesized that the Insulindian phasmid might occasionally prey on other insects.
Inside the traps, a number of locusts crawl and tumble over one another in a tiny, chittering swarm. A meat-eating stick insect? Does it pretend to be the reeds as part of its ambush behavior? This seems unlikely.
Хищный палочник? Звучит сомнительно.
Thank you for your opinion. We have also included plant material in the traps to satiate your skepticism.
А что вы будете делать, если ловушки не сработают?
They'll work, I assure you. The predatory hypothesis, using locusts as bait, accounts for the failure of previous efforts by other teams, which use plants. We have given this some thought.
The traps do seem to be deftly and thoughtfully constructed. It's clear the cryptozoologist's wife knows what she's doing.
Ладно, давайте поговорим о другом.
Yes. What?
Лена, кажется, очень ждет вашего возвращения.
And I'm eager to return to her, I assure you. But I can't leave before we finish with these traps. My wife understands that just as well as anyone.
Come on, Morale. We've been soaking out here for days. It's time to go back.
And leave the traps? Absolutely not. I won't let Lena down.
Come on, she wants us back. I'm soaked up to my nuts over here. We'll both catch reed crabs if we don't dry out soon.
Не знал, что фазмид столь важен Лене.
Of course it's important to her. She's seen it. A verified sighting, on record. One of only 4 this century, and it's hers.
В самом деле, она видела фазмида? Мне она об этом не рассказывала.
Yes, that's how we first came to know one another, in fact. But that's her story to tell, not mine. Suffice to say, it's long been our dream to find proof of the Insulindian phasmid together. I can't abandon course now.
Может, вернетесь в танцы, отогреетесь, а потом позже проверите ловушки?
No, no, no. The traps need to be monitored on a regular schedule. What would we do if the phasmid were to starve while we were sipping tea at the hostel?
He's dead set on this. I could go for some trap setting.
А что, если мы проверим ловушки за вас?
I didn't expect you to take such an interest in our work here, officer.
криптозоологов и работы сыщика очень много общего.
Yes, indeed. Both require a great deal of research, attention to detail, and, above all, persistence.
Ну и где ваши ловушки?
There are 4 in total. One is to the south, on this little peninsula, by the boathouses there. It's very near. Another we set in Land's End, to the northeast. It's behind a small sand dune there, on your way to the old radio tower, after the church. The third is set near the canal, where you crossed, by a concrete slab. A big thicket of reeds going up the slope, and among them... You should check at least one of those before returning to this one, since I just said it. This one's more of a technicality, but still, better safe and stupid than sorry.
That seems like a lot. Do we really have time for this extracurricular venture?
Тяга к знанию не требует дополнительных обоснований.
Is it?
А что мне делать, если я найду в ловушке Фазмида?
Bring it to me at once. Just make sure the trap is closed tight.
He's not comfortable with the possibility that you'll claim the find, but he's lying about this even to himself.
Что если я встречу Фазмида просто так?
That's highly unlikely, officer. But in the event you do, I'll spray you with a pheromone mixture I developed.
Did you hear that? Pheromones. You were right about the teenagers.
То есть подростки и правда обжимались из-за Фазмида?
Oh, I doubt there is any connection there. Anyway, these pheromones will attract the insect to you, or at least prevent it from bolting at the sight of you. It's quite potent. Should last you about a week.
Давай лей да погуще.
I hope you're not buying this. He dispenses it without letting you touch the canister, so it would be precious like holy water.
It is precious. A single dose cost me 50 real to develop. Not that I expect you to understand self-financing one's own research.
Я готов к делу.
Right, which means you two can pack up and go back to the welding.
Finally, someone's talking sense.
Thank you for your help. Gary and I will start breaking down camp. If you have any more questions, now's the time to ask. We'll be gone once you get to it.
If it's more cryptid-related business you want to discuss, you'll have time for that later too. But what if the information is vital? On the hunt.
Да я вроде все спросил. Ладно, как вы стали криптозоологом?
I've just always liked animals and puzzles. Searching for cryptids is a bit of both.
В общем, ваша детская мечта воплотилась в реальность.
It's not child's play. Just because I have to traipse through the mud every so often.
Но почему не быть обычным зоологом? Настоящие животные тоже полны загадок.
Real. I know you think one is a respectable profession, while the other is superstition. Everyone does.
Честно, как по мне, быть криптозоологом лучше большей части того дерьма, которым занимаются люди.
My methods do not differ from other scientists. I simply draw upon a wider variety of evidence. And I have more hope that something truly surprising might happen.
Your nerve endings tell you there is no such thing as a positive surprise.
А с вами происходило нечто действительно неожиданное?
No, as I said, I have yet to catch a cryptid. Although I have come close. Close enough to keep trying.
Interesting. Something for later, this close call.
То есть вы никогда не находили криптидов?
No. Very few cryptids are ever discovered, and not for a lack of trying. To stay hidden is a cryptid's primary quality. It's even in the name, cryptid.
А сколько всего криптидов обнаружено?
Of the list of cryptids kept by the Cryptozoological Society of Chemney, which is 4,082 items long, about 2,000 have been confirmed as hoaxes. 2 are categorized as confirmed discoveries. The rest are in differing stages of discovery, refutation, and data collection.
Лишь 2 точно оказались настоящими?
Yes, the Chateau Quan forest pygmy, who turned out to be an extinct species of primate, and a cave salamander from Yugograd, who is, honestly, quite unremarkable. It's in a zoo somewhere. We cryptozoologists are brutally honest with ourselves, more so even than the public. With cryptids, most cryptids are hoaxes or they are never found. That does not mean we should stop searching.
Два из 4000. Это даже не процент.
In fact, it is 0.05%. Ever more magnificent, should our search contribute to making that number 0.075%.
He has clearly done his math on this. There is no surprising him or swaying his opinion.
На какие свидетельства вы опираетесь?
Everything from forgotten regional lore to newspaper accounts, like the one that brought us here, to look for the Phasmid. I keep a very open mind.
He's interested in things that people believe that scientists don't.
Думаете, другие ученые недостаточно прислушиваются к обычным людям?
Most establishment scientists only care about reputation and remuneration, not real research, and certainly not the truth. They're a cowardly lot, and both the field and basement archives can be dangerous places.
Ладно, спасибо за объяснение. Теперь давайте о другом.
Yes?
Давайте поговорим о конкретных криптидах.
All right. What cryptids precisely? I usually discuss these things with specialists, so I don't know what.
We would have to discuss. He wants to say, but decides against it, since you've offered to help.
Просто расскажите мне про какого-нибудь клевого криптида. Любого.
No offense, officer, but I'm not much of a pedagogue. I don't know what I would have done if Lena hadn't persuaded me to go back to field research. You should ask her if you want interesting stories. Me? I'm not a people person, unless you haven't noticed. And I don't make a good lecturer. My strength lies in field work and persistence.
А какого криптида вы почти поймали? Вы упоминали, что был такой.
A willow person. It's a long story. One non-specialist would find rather dull.
Willow people? Not at all.
Кто такие ивовые люди?
They're not people, really. Some argue they aren't really animals, as they seem to have evolved directly from trees. They're very, very thin, almost flat in fact, and can camouflage themselves easily, wrapping themselves around trees and blending in with the tree bark. In that way, they're not too dissimilar from the phasmid we're looking for here.
Погодите, то есть я, возможно, сам того не зная, видел ивовых людей.
You probably have.
И как вам удалось почти поймать ивового человека? Ивового, блин, как тяжело это произносить. Вообще, как тяжело по-русски разговаривать в последнее время.
Gary and I painted an entire grove's worth of trees in slow-drying paints. It was a bright lavender colour. I was hoping one of the willow people would get paint on it and not be able to camouflage itself. After waiting in hiding for hours, I saw a figure slip from one of the trees, a lavender shadow, dashing through the grove.
А потом?
I chased it with a net. Not very elegant. You can't be elegant in the field. And, well, it was faster than me.
A lavender shadow.
I know you think we were snacking on funny mushrooms. It's easier to mock someone than to admit that the world might be more interesting than you've imagined. Furthermore, I'm not saying it was a confirmed sighting. I'm painfully aware of what goes into verifying such things. There is a serious possibility that I saw a squirrel or a trick of the light. I am my own harshest critic.
А встреча Лены с Фазмидом, что насчет...
Confirmed. It's 100% verified and meets all the standards of an authentic cryptid sighting.
Тогда хватит сказок. Сменим тему.
By all means.
Ладно, я пошел. А ты не собираешься идти никуда? Забор преграждает путь, отсюда не пройти. Это как-то так. Еще один электрощиток. Сейчас ни к чему не подключен. Внутри пусто.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
До завтрашнего дня один лишь вздох. Вздох.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
Тут еще много людей, блин, со всеми можно поговорить, но это так все долго. Высокие пыльные окна забраны решеткой. А тут тоже. Блин, какая-то локация большая. Импровизированный навес. Бродяги пытались обустроить пирс, чтобы жить здесь. Этот брезент не спасет ни от дождя, ни от снега, ни от ветра. Как туда пройти? Никак.
The smell. It's awful and familiar.
Погоди, это отвратительно.
It doesn't help. You can still smell it.
Что?
Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency, that faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that.
Я так и подумал, да, что поначалу. Типа, он что, тут тоже труп где-то?
Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear. It is death. It must be.
Внимание, лейтенант, здесь что-то не так.
The lieutenant has already brought a handkerchief to his nose.
Осторожно, доски выглядят прогнившими и ненадежными.
There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin.
Осмотреть тару.
2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter is all you find. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liquor, plus some Pilsner bottles too. Better not pick them up. They seem unhygienic.
A tragedy.
Осмотреть сигаретную пачку.
Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand name reads Red Astra. Now, this makes partying look bad. Still, don't let it sway you. You're responsible.
Осмотреть упаковку из-под шаурмы.
You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads Shish Kebab Revachol. It's no older than a day or two. No mold yet. It's hard to concentrate in the smell. The sea air brings some relief.
Ну вот, еще один жмурик. Этот платный бинокль не работает уже много лет. Далеко внизу тебя ждет только смерть. Метров 20, не меньше.
A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper. Half of his body has slipped between the cracked boardwalk, starting with the right leg. The fall has left him broken, contorted like a sad puppet. The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse, but it's definitely heading there.
Hold on. Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer. We need to investigate.
Another dead body. This is your job. Steel yourself. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another dead body. Breathe.
Смотреть одежду мертвеца.
He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest. You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into 2. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
Осмотреть самого мертвеца.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk. and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole.
То есть он просто провалился случайно и, типа, ударился головой, из-за этого умер?
You have to be quite inebriated to fall that bad. Well over a liter of pure ethanol. 3 bottles of wine, or 1.5 of spirits. Or maybe it was just dark.
Осмотреть лицо мертвеца.
His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his moustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. Age, approximately 50 to 60 years.
Изучить окружающую обстановку.
There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist.
Осмотреть голову мертвеца.
A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. This is what killed him.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you?
Тоже нет, только вот это на затылке.
Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
Встать на настил.
The boards screech under the weight of the T500 ceramic sabatons. It's a good thing they're so light, because it's hard to determine whether it was the dead man's weight that caused the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile. You see waves churning below. Something cracks beneath your feet. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole, and you would have never found him.
Осмотреть бутылку.
A .75 liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside. It's mid-market spirits with a slight touch of menthol. The man meant to enjoy himself, have a good time.
Tear all around us.
Осмотреть обертку от жевательной резинки.
Rubowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall.
Заглянуть внутрь.
The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too?
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. The worst thing is, I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum. It's always the same.
Отступить назад.
The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
Интересно, кто он такой?
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over here. But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think?
At least this man knew how to party. Imagine the same scene without the bottle. Now that would be just sad.
Думаю, рано ставить на нем клеймо алкоголика, ведь мы пока ничего не знаем.
We do know that he was married. But you're right. Let's not run ahead. For now, all we know is that he's an unidentified middle-aged man found dead on the Martinez boardwalk.
Что, по-твоему, произошло?
Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive.
А как же шаурма?
What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from a nearby place, maybe in the parks.
Sometimes a kebab is just a kebab.
Кто-то должен ответить за сломанный настил. Это небезопасно.
They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. I doubt that they have enough resources to actually repair the boardwalk. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. All it does is keep the city council's hands clean.
Получается, думаешь, он был пьян?
Oh, yes.
Может, алкогольное отравление? Отказала печень?
Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, respiratory depression, unpredictable behavior. But I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure.
А может, это вообще может быть связано с линчеванием?
No, I don't see anything that points in that direction. For now, let's treat this case as a simple, albeit sad, accident, unrelated to the murder case.
Agreed. If this somehow converges later, why not? But keep it simple for now.
Да.
It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure, although there's still a question of identifying the body.
И что нам с ним делать?
From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle.
Погоди, а что насчет осмотра тела?
A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal, and this looks like a simple accident to me. I'd say we should just write down head trauma in the autopsy report and leave it at that. It would save us at least 2 hours of unnecessary work.
Ты прав, не вижу здесь ничего криминального. Так и поступим.
Good call. The guys at processing can take care of the rest.
Мы его нашли, нам и разбираться.
All right. We should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from my kinema. Let them know we are taking the case.
Уйти. Большая канистра из-под вина, открытая и пустая. Вероятно, самогон. Приятный аромат брожения. Там еще проход есть. Платные весы. Ими уже лет 10 никто не пользовался. Похоже, недавно какие-то бродяги покрасили этот брезент красным. С него капает вода. Мега-ботан.
Someone has left an unidentifiable article. article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad.
Взглянем поближе.
It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence to dry out. Unfortunately, that just seems to have stiffened it into a shapeless mass.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you.
Почему?
It's a guano-encrusted jacket, and you're already carrying around enough as it is.
Кто-то приложил немало усилий, чтобы разрушить этот пластмассовый купол.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change.
Уйти, пока некому звонить. Сломанный телефон. Кто-то с такой силой швырнул трубку, что она разбилась. Быдло. Да, огромная локация. Я думал, я успею ее исследовать за этот стрим, но нет. Вибрация бочки. Музыка идет откуда-то со льда. Ты чувствуешь, как тебя накрывает тень огромного здания. Я понимаю. В него сейчас зайдешь, тут еще, блин, куча всего будет. Вон. А, это церковь. Кстати, здесь где-то ловушка должна быть. Нихера тут, блин, локация. Чего она такая огромная, эта локация, ё-моё. Надушенный шарф. Там вдалеке, куда уходят эти столбики, видны небольшие островки. Эта лестница слишком ржавая, чтобы забираться по ней. Она вся разъедена морским ветром. Эта радиовышка управляет движением судов в заливе. С трудом. Ржавый сломанный пульт управления радиовышкой. Кто-то сжег здесь костер давно. Сигаретные бычки, заметенные под камень. Марка Тиумутири. Блин, как тут много всего, ужас. Вот это, наверное, ловушка, нет? Ладно, на этом мы сегодня закончим, потому что уже капец, по-моему. Давай ловушку проверим только.
There's a trap in the reeds at your feet. Looks like the same one you saw Morel set before. Same mesh, same wiring.
Оглядеться.
The reeds sway in the coastal breeze. They seem to be waiting for something. The wind picks up here, near the cape's end, surrounding the narrow strip of land from 3 cardinal directions. It's cold, for this time of year.
Взять ловушку.
Locusts are crawling around in the trap, confused but uneaten. You see no carnivorous reed phasmid gorging on them.
Big surprise. Anyway, 1 down, 3 to go.
Черт, а я надеялся, он окажется в первой же ловушке.
No, you weren't.
Белая рубашка пола. Капец тут одежды. -1 эмпатия. +1 риторика. А, кстати, я не ношу с собой мешок, а может быть... Тут полно бутылок, может быть. Нужно запомнить. Тиумутири. Это почему-то кажется важным. Ладно. Тут нет этого. Бутылок. Эту бочку выбросили недавно. Все еще пахнет мазутом. Цепь тянется куда-то в океан. Кто знает куда. Эти ржавые цистерны когда-то приводили в движение весь механизм. Что это за механизм вообще? Это какое-то помещение?
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle.
Ладно, пока отойдем. Ладно, пора заканчивать, блин. Не могу, правда, остановиться. Но надо. Наконец у нас появилось много чего вообще, что мы можем выполнить. Окей. Всего в меру. Надеюсь, продолжим завтра.